Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but just watch them for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you all on your paths to your highest vibrational good. So, for our key to the week card, we have... Oh, okay, that card seems to want out, and it is the Emperor, right? So this week, you are having to take command. You've got to take the lead, right? Now, a lot of people say when it comes to Leo, like, oh, Leo likes to take the lead anyway. That's true to a degree, but a lot of Leos don't like to take the lead and don't like to be up front and center. They are what I call the silent dignity type of Leo, right? And the message behind this that you're getting this week is you are going to have to step up, right? You've got to take the lead. You have to be the front person, the point person, the person in control. In all of these different areas of your life this week, you are being urged to be the line in the sand, to be the hard no, and also to be the person that takes command of the ship. In some way, shape or form, you got to step up this week, Leo, and you need to be in charge, right? The other thing as well, you might find this week that you become the go-to person, that people want to hear your opinions, that people want to hear your thoughts. This is your time to really go for it, to really lean into what comes next. All right, so going to give these a good shuffle. Now, I wanted to mention, for those of you that are new to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing and thank you for being here. For those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves you. So I do want to say, if you haven't yet, if you are interested on the so enrollment for my tarot course is now open and will close on the 31st of January, or when all 20 spots are filled. I keep this group deliberately small because I like to be able to give you all as much time, input and effort as I possibly can. So it's 12 weeks. You get PDFs, you get bonus videos, you get immersive sessions with me, plus Q&As. There is lots of goodies as a part of this. So if you are interested, you want to read tarot like me, it is beginner to intermediate level. So I will say this is probably not for you if you're a super advanced tarot reader or you've been doing it for a really long time. All right, with that said, I really hope I see you. And I think at this point, there's like 1 or 2 spaces of the clearing cohort left. So make sure you check that out as well. For your actions and options, you've got the 3 of Pentacles. So for a lot of you, this might actually be the week where you decide that you're going back to school. The 3 of Pentacles does tend to represent, it represents learning, studying, gathering information of some sort, but coupled with the Emperor, this is formal education, right? So there's something this week that you decide, I either don't know enough on this subject or I want to. It's not my tarot course, I swear, although it might be for some of you, all right? But this does suggest in some way, shape or form, a lot of you are saying, I'm ready to go back to school, or I'm ready to study something at a greater or deeper level. So this is you really going after it. Now, another way this potentially shows up is, remember earlier I said you're the go-to person, the point person. This does suggest that this week your knowledge, your expertise in some way, shape or form, your brains are going to be picked this week. And I actually think it's going to be really good for you. It's going to show you not only how much you've learned, but also how far you've advanced. Remember, we don't get to decide what people do with the information that we give them. All right, that's up to them. How they use it is on them, but the advice that you give the best that you've got to give. Now, when it comes to the options that are available to you, you might find that there are more options available to you to get ahead than you realize this week. All right, now, when it comes to your communications and conversations, you got the 3 of Wands. So what do we see straight away? 2 threes. 2 threes represents a calming influence. If you want to find out how to do that, you know what to do. All right. If you want to know about the groupings and how they show up and all the rest of it, you will learn that on my course as well as my much coveted timing energies. Now, that being said, the 3 of Wands is a very lucky card. It's a very expansive card. Now, providing you're willing to take control of, to really muster control of your personal sphere when it comes to your profession and your academic sphere, this week massive advancements can be made. The Three of Wands is a very lucky energy, but it is also a card. When I see this, I often say to my clients, it's time for you to expand your vision. You need to start thinking bigger than you are at the moment. You've got good plans, it looks like, right? And you're willing to do the work of learning more, studying more, gaining new information, but you're thinking too small, Leo. So now this week is going to show you where you need to start thinking big and thinking expansive. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this is actually, I think this week, it's not even a glimpse. I actually think you might get a chance, or maybe get headhunted. Maybe someone taps you on the shoulder and says, look, are you interested in maybe doing this to see kind of what it's going to be like on the actual job? So some of you could be getting a job before you even graduate in some regard. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is you starting to look at the job and wonder how. It's not even so much like, oh, how long can I do this for? It's not that you're unhappy. It's more a case of how long can I do this for somebody else before I realise I really want to do this for myself, which I love for you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, maybe you have a conversation with a peer, maybe somebody that you consider to be an authority, or, someone that you really look up to, and they kind of give you the elbow or the nudge that you need through a conversation to say, you're doing really well, but you really need to amp up your game, or maybe you need to think bigger. There's someone here that provides you with the right kind of push to say, okay, you know what, I need a stretch goal. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, the Three of Wands can show up when we are in a speculative matter, and it looks like a lot of you might be considering, do I work with this person in my family? And I do feel like it will be a familial tie. Do I work with this person? Would it be the right fit? Are we gonna, will it be great? Will we kill each other? Whatever the case might be. Personally, with all of this, providing you are in charge, I would go for it. For your for your love and relations, you've got the Eight of Swords. So, for those of you that are single and looking, you could meet somebody this week that is either very calm, very cool, very collected, but what you might not realise that this person is either in a position of power of their own. It could be that this person is a police officer, a lawyer, a doctor. Usually because you've got the Emperor as the key to the week, you've got the Eight of Swords here, this will be somebody who really is very interested in creating something solid with you moving forward. But it's almost like they are very traditional because you've got the Emperor. And what I will say is usually with the Emperor, it's like people whose jobs are their titles. Doctor, lawyer, nurse, police officer, right? Those are titles, but they are the job as well. So if you're single, you could be meeting somebody like that, and maybe even in an academic or professional situation. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is you considering the longevity of the relationship and what you're tied to and how long you want to be that. You might actually be sort of, this week you might actually say to yourself or to your significant other, we need to think about where we're going in the long term because I don't like where we're at the moment, right? Or something along those lines. Now, before we get into your money, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, whether tarot, astrology, or numerology, you can do that on the link in the description box below. I would love to connect with you one-on-one. Get booking, all right? For your money and materials, you've got the Ten of Swords. So this with the Emperor, that can be either the release of a debt, but it could also be a financial discussion that gets a little bit heated, to say the least. Now, one way that this might show up, maybe your partner, if you've got one, says to you, maybe a partner says to you, I've signed us up for this. And you're like, okay, but that's 2 years worth of payments for, ... and you're not happy about it. Maybe there is a conversation about a financial commitment that you want to make, or, what does it mean if you're going back to school? Right, there's all these things to consider. That Ten of Swords, it's the end of something, but it can be an argument or a bust up. And so I will say, when it comes to money this week, do be open to the conversation, but just know that it might not be as smooth a conversation as you would hope. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Ten of Swords tends to show up because you've got it with the Emperor. A lot of you this week will be going to an osteopath or a chiropractor. A lot of you might be going to an acupuncturist. That's very likely. And for a very select few of you, you might be having some kind of needlework done. So this could be anything from a tattoo right through to, like a spinal tap, all of that kind of stuff. I hope that's not the case, because I've heard those things are nasty. I've never had one, but it's meant to be really grim. Now, when it comes to your home and environment, the Ten of Swords, I've been saying to the Leos for a long time, if you haven't moved yet, there's probably at least one more on the horizon for you. And I've been praying that this isn't true, because as many of you know, I'm a Leo ascendant, and I'm finally settled for the first time in like bloody 12 years. This is like the longest I've spent in one place. So I'm like, please no. But right, it is what it is. Anyway, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.